Hello, my name is Rachell Cairns. I'm currently an RN and I'm in the BSN program at Northwest Florida State College. My work history includes me being a CNA for 3 years and then getting my LPN and working as an LPN at a nursing home for 4 years. I have currently since then quit the nursing home and I'm pursuing a higher level of care and currently working in PCU at a hospital. My career goals include me getting my BSN and hopefully eventually getting my CCRN and working in ICU. Here, pictured on the first slide, is me and my baby, and then there's me, and then me and my husband Sean. On the next slide is a little bit of an explanation as to why I became a nurse. I think it's important to explain roots and to remember where we came from and evolved from what we were and currently are. I'm originally from Oregon. I was a Jehovah's Witness and I'm no longer, and I say that purely for understanding of who I am. Pictured in the first picture is me as a child with my cat Precious. And the second picture is my mother and great-grandmother. Third pictured is me and my mother. And then my half-brother Connor, who is grown now, my grandmother, my dad, my step-grandmother and grandfather, my stepbrother on my dad's side. I also have a half-brother who is not born yet in this picture. We are 20 years apart. And my brother Connor and I in the last picture. I guess you could say that I became a nurse because it's something that just always came natural to me. I was put in a position at a young age where I took care of people. My grandma, she helped take care of me on the weekends and she had a hoarding problem. So I'd go there and I'd clean her house on the weekends. And she took care of my great-grandmother who was very sick and had Alzheimer's and dementia. She would frequently fall and eventually ended up in a nursing home. So I spent a lot of time in nursing homes as a child, and as I grew older, nursing homes just felt normal to me and like a good memory. Eventually I started helping take care of Connor when he was born. I was 10 at the time. And being the older sister, I naturally helped take care of him and would watch him. I'd take him to school in the mornings and make sure he was ready. I would also wash his clothes, cook his meals, and watch him when I was not working as a teenager. When I turned 18, I graduated early and moved out to Florida with my father, who is pictured here. And this is where I've been since about 2014. I had a few odds and ends jobs, like working at a call center for DirecTV, working fast food at Hardee's, and working at Applebee's as a hostess. Eventually I got tired of the food service industry and decided I needed to do something else. In 2017, I became a CNA. I found myself broke and living on my own, trying to learn how to be an actual adult. I made some poor life choices and didn't have enough money to get by. Being a CNA allowed me to make more money by picking up extra shifts. I loved being a CNA and it established lifelong friendships. I was always told growing up that I was going to be a nurse and I hated it because I didn't want to do what other people told me what I should do. I wanted to be an accountant or a stockbroker, but that didn't necessarily work out. So in 2017, I found myself where I just couldn't do what I was currently doing anymore. I took a class at a local nursing home and eventually I became a CNA. I remember studying so hard for my CNA and just being so nervous. I didn't know what life had in store for me then. had a nurse who really changed my life. Her name was Stacy. She passed away in February 2018, and that really pushed me to get a further education and go and get my LPN. Funny story is I would collect spare change I found on the ground and said I was saving for nursing school and for college. So she started picking up change and would save it for me and said it was my college fund. So, I went to school for my LPN. I had to take a step in the right direction to get myself on track. I wanted to be a great nurse like Stacy, because how could you not want to be like Stacy? She was awesome. LPN had its own struggles, but I graduated in December of 2019. I told myself I was going to stop at LPN, and then pictured is my friend Cher and my friend Natasha, and then me in the clinical uniform, and then also us at like a school clinic type deal. I graduated, and I worked as an LPN. And in January of 2020, I took the NCLEX and I passed. I was an LPN. I kept working at the nursing home as an LPN where I got my CNA. COVID hit in 2020, and I found myself as a brand new nurse working on a COVID unit in October when it got pretty bad. Here pictured is me in the PPE for working the COVID unit. And then here pictured is we had a resident that she had a baby doll, and she'd get burnt out on holding the baby doll, and so I had to make a little sling and then pass the pills while holding this baby doll, because she would call me a deadbeat mom. You know, it's just fun stuff to make them happy. And so she got burnt out and needed a baby break, and so I had to hold the baby and take care of the baby. And then in 2022, September 3rd, I had a baby. And then this is Rachell Cairns. This was her when she was fresh in the NICU, and she was there for about a month. And then I really had the motivation to get my RN. In September 2022, I had my baby. She's 2 now. She's the light of my life. I realized that I have a family now and I have to do better, and so I really tried to hunker down so that way I could provide further for Kiri and for my family. So I applied to the Northwest Florida State College LPN to RN Bridge program, and I got in. It's hard to believe, but I got in. The ADN program had its own struggles because I found myself having to relearn everything. I found myself learning more and more, and here pictured is me on the first day of school, and then the first day of my last semester. But in 2024, December, I graduated. Can you believe it? I graduated. It's hard to believe, but I did it. And then pictured is me and Kiri, and me at the stage, and my friend Brianna, and then my family, and Sean's family, and then the little brother I was telling you about that's 20 years apart. But I graduated and I did it. But in January of 2025, I quit working at the nursing home and I'm now working at a PCU here locally. Pictured are all my friends at the nursing home on my last day. Linda, the older lady here, she was one of the first people who oriented me. And then the man, Ian, he and I were in the same CNA class together from where I first started. The far right is Meg. She's been a nurse for a long time, and she was one of the nurses I worked under. She's a great nurse too. And then there's Mindy and Leslie and Brianna. They're all my best friends, and we still have a good friendship. And that's my career in a nutshell, as well as some of the backstory as to why I became a nurse. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a good day. Happy studying.